because in July of 2012, months before the March 2013 election, the price of a packet of a 2-kilogram package of unga shot up from 70 shillings to 130 shillings. Therefore, making my administration, when it came into office, the first item we had to address was to intervene to bring down this price as an urgent priority. Again, in May of 2017, 3 months to the August 2017 election, the price of unga shot up to an unprecedented Kenya shillings 189 shillings. This is the highest price experience between independence and 2017. And this crisis was used to fuel that powered the ambitions of certain members of the political class. Today, once again, months to the August 2022 election, the price of unga has, as per previous, shot up again. It has moved from a price of about 100 Kenya shillings to 205 Kenya shillings currently. So the national question, ladies and gentlemen, that all of us must pose from this trend is it a coincidence that we have an unga crisis just before every election? Is this the result of a market dynamic, or is it a deliberate outcome? This question, ladies and gentlemen, we have to put forward. We must ask ourselves, and we must put to bed. And in posing this question, I return to the three entities charged with duty of care for the people of this republic, with respect especially to the price of unga that we address today, and its curious relationship with every election. So today I ask our maize millers, like every single citizen of this republic, they have their rights and responsibilities as corporate citizens. And they must enjoy their market rights to make profits. But I do hope and pray that they should also exercise a corresponding social responsibility to the people of this republic who make it possible for them to do their businesses and make profits. Even whereas in this particular case, we must say that the price is also affected by drought and the other external factors that I have mentioned, we must also agree that the motivation for profit must be tempered by a reasoned level of social ethics if our businesses are to survive. And I say so because making profits and ethical corporate citizenship are not conflicting ideals. They are in fact complementary. You can make profits and exercise responsible business practices. And you can do this all at the same time. More so because if unethical practices result in instability during and after elections, the biggest loser is not the ordinary citizen. It is the corporate citizen. It is their investments that are the first to suffer. And because a government or let me say, because a responsible government cannot legislate a culture of corporate responsibility, and neither can we police the social ethics of corporate citizens, I do request all of them to see their role as a partnership, first and foremost with the people of this republic, and second with their government. This is true of some large-scale commodity house and maize traders, maize millers, fuel handlers, and we know it's not all, but there are some who use the practice of hoarding to control prices. But I ask you today, if hoarding results in increased prices to unaffordable levels and results in consequent instability, I once again reiterate that the damage is highest on corporate citizens, and this is a fact that we have seen in many countries. But fellow Kenyans, it is not just our corporate citizens. It is also us in the political class, and how we manipulate this so-called unga crisis every election in an attempt to gain political mileage. We in the political class, it is so unfortunate but shocking that we have the audacity to politicize the misery of the most vulnerable in our society. But let me say, it is even more distasteful for us to seek political gain and make political capital out of the suffering of the vulnerable without even attempting to offer solutions. So if it is not a coincidence that every election attracts higher prices of unga, then we must also ask the question of coincidence. And I say so because if one of them acts unethically by hoarding products and the other benefits by politicizing this irresponsibility, but in the meantime, who is suffering from this mischief? If the politician gets his votes out of this mischief, if the miller makes their profit, what does the mwananchi, who is the most important player in all of this, get? And in the end, who is forced to carry the burden of this mischief? It is none other than the ordinary citizen. So if my appeal to our brothers and sisters who are millers is to practice a reasoned level of social ethics, my appeal to the political class is for us to exercise our civic responsibility. To politicize the pain of the vulnerable without offering solutions is to mock the lifestyle of the same people that you seek to vote for you. The partnership between the corporate citizen and the political class has to be to the ultimate benefit of the people of our republic. And if it breeds misery, like the high price of maize every election, then it is the voter who has a duty to put an end to it. I come now finally to the government. The world over, government is meant to be a community of solution givers, not solution avoiders or problem moaners. And it is our mandate as the fourth administration of this republic to offer solutions to the needs of those who elected us and to cushion them whenever unexpected problems degenerate into a crisis. Despite the cries of some with whom we were elected together to solve problems, the record is very clear that the administration that I have led has done relentlessly, with or without elections, our duty. And why? It is because the mantra of my administration is that in the fog of a crisis, it is always our view to view the crisis not just as a danger, but to look for the opportunity that exists within that crisis. And we have cushioned our people from danger, but pointed out to them the underlying opportunity. And in this, we have a track record. In response to the economic shocks occasioned by COVID-19, for instance, my administration moved fast to implement 3 economic stimulus packages. The first 2 packages were designed to ensure that our economy endured the shocks occasioned by the lockdown measures implemented in the early stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. The first stimulus package lowered various tax regimes, lowered the central bank rate, CBR, to 7.25 from 8.25, so as to prompt commercial banks to lower interest rates applicable to their borrowers, and thereby availing the much-needed affordable credit to micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises across our country. To support this, we also lowered the cash reserve ratio, and this unlocked cash amounting to some 35 billion shillings to commercial banks, and this stimulus package put an additional 176 billion back into the pockets of Kenyans. Additionally, because we tend to forget these things, we temporarily suspended the listing with credit reference bureaus of any person, micro, small, and medium enterprise, and corporate entity whose loan account had fallen overdue or was in arrears. The second stimulus package, whose tenet was the 8-point program, revitalized the productive sector by 56.6 billion Kenya shillings. One of the most celebrated initiatives of this package was the Kazi Mtaani, which was meant to cushion our young people from COVID-related unemployment. The program has so far gainfully engaged up to 1 million youths deployed in infrastructure improvements, in public hygiene, and it has created opportunities for young people to start new businesses. Having secured significant progress in the containment of COVID-19, in October of 2021, I announced the third economic stimulus package that was positioned to shift our focus from surviving COVID-19's social economic vagaries to building back better. The Kenya shilling 25 billion stimulus package was designed to accelerate the pace of our economic growth and to sustain the gains already made. The third economic stimulus package pushed the aggregate of our total stimulus to Kenya shillings 257 billion shillings. This package focused on the key productive service sectors that covered education, agriculture across all cash crops, health, energy, petroleum, drought response, infrastructure, financial inclusion, as well as environmental conservation. Ladies and gentlemen, whether we like it or not, whether we report it or not, no other country in our region or even in our continent implemented such a broad and robust economic response to COVID-19 and the need to turn tragedy into opportunities. And for those in doubt, there is testimony. The outcome of the interventions are manifest and vivid for all to see. A historic tax collection of Kenya shillings 2 trillion for the financial year 2021-2022, when everybody expected that there would be a massive downturn. The fourth stimulus package focused on subsidies. The first one is the petroleum subsidy to offer relief to household budgets. We have, over the last year, granted and maintained a fuel subsidy amounting to over 118 billion Kenya shillings. Without this state intervention, the pump prices today would be 193.64 shillings for diesel, Kenya shillings 209.95 cents for petrol, and Kenya shillings 181.13 for kerosene. And this is in Nairobi. The price would have been much higher the further inland you went. In fact, as a result of this model, we have set the pace for other countries in the region for the provision of fuel subsidy, which they never had, but have copied from us to see how they can cushion their own consumers from the high prices of fuel. The second set of subsidies was aimed at bolstering food production, and my administration announced a 5 billion fertilizer subsidy program, which has reduced the cost of fertilizer from Kenya shillings 6,000 to an average of Kenya shillings 2,800. Earlier this month, the government also suspended fees and levies that include KEFIS and KEBS, testing fee, inspection fee, permit fee, on all imported maize grain and raw materials for animal feeds for a period of 4 months, with effect from 1st July 2022 to the 31st of October 2022. The fact that drought and other reasons beyond any human intervention should not be used to blame government. And so lastly, to build on this momentum, as well as being led by empathy and understanding and our desire to cushion our population from the rising cost of living. Today, my administration wishes to implement a fifth stimulus program focusing primarily on the hunger crisis. I note with regret and sadness the impact that it has had for a 2 kg pack of maize meal to remain out of the reach of many, as it currently retails at approximately 205 shillings. And as a consequence of this continued escalation in food prices, today we announce a fiscal measure focused on food subsidy as our fifth stimulus program, covering the supply and distribution of our nation's staple food, which is maize meal, across our country. My administration has been engaging for the last few days with all milling companies registered by the Agricultural Food Authority, and as a consequence issued a legal notice under the hand of the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury. And through this notice, and effective immediately, number one, the Railway Development Levy on all imported maize shall stand suspended. Number two, the Import Declaration Fee, IDF, on all imported maize is also hereby suspended. Number three, maize flour shall retail across the entire territory of the Republic of Kenya at the price of Kenya shillings 100, down from Kenya shillings 205 for a 2 kg packet until otherwise directed. This program of a subsidy of approximately 105 shillings per 2 kg pack of maize meal is meant to lower the cost of living for vulnerable households as we look for a sustainable solution to the recurrent rising prices of unga every election. I want at this juncture to take this opportunity to thank, first and foremost, all the millers with some of their representatives here for being caring citizens, for understanding and for realizing the need for us to work together in order to ensure that our citizens are able to live within their means. Asanteni sana. Thank you all very much. Shukran sana. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to conclude by re-emphasizing the need for both corporate citizens, the political class, and government to exercise high civic responsibility. And to this end, I invite all of them to join the community, not of mourners or grumblers, even when you serve in government, but I ask you all to join the community of solution givers, for this is where the future of our country lies. I want to thank you all. May God bless you all, and may God continue to shine his blessings on this Republic of Kenya. Asanteni sana. Sasa ningependa nichukue nafasi hii nimualike rafiki yetu ambaye ataongea kwa niaba ya wenzetu hawa wote wa Kenya wetu wasafi ambao wamekubaliana tuungane pamoja, tushirikiane, kwa sababu nchi hii inatuhitaji sisi wote. Hakuna ambaye ataweza kukaa kwa amani kama sisi zote hatuna amani. Na ndipo nashukuru hawa wenzetu kwa sababu ya maono yao na vile wamekubali kushirikiana pamoja nasi, ndio tusaidie wananchi wetu ambao zote twajua wameumia zaidi. Na wamekubali tushirikiane, tutafute suluhu ya sasa, wakati tunaendelea kutafuta suluhu ya kudumu. Na ndio nasema Kenya hii tukitaka kwenda mbele, njia ni mbili. Moja, umepatiwa nafasi ya kuhudumu, lakini badala ya kuhudumu, kazi yako ni kulalamika. Mimi nashukuru wenzetu kwa sababu wamesema hawatalalamika, watakaa pamoja nasi, watusaidie kutafuta suluhu. Na nimewashukuru sana. Bwana Mohamed, endelea. Asante sana.
Bwana Rais Uhuru Kenyatta na mawaziri wako, Bwana Yatani na Bwana Munye, kusema la kweli serikali imetukalisha kwa muda wa siku 4-5 hivi kuangalia suluhu ya kutafuta kushukisha bei ya chakula muhimu zaidi hapa kwetu. Na kama Bwana Rais alivyosema, serikali hii haijatulia mpaka leo. Ukiangalia vitu vyote Rais alivyovisema ni vitu ambavyo kwamba amevifanya kwa sababu roho yake yenyewe inawapenda nyinyi wa Kenya, si kwa sababu amelazimishwa na mtu afanye. Mtu huyu anaweza kusema tu si ndio bei, kwa hivyo lazima upigane tu, lakini amesema la, hebu njooni tukaeni pamoja, tuangalie tunaweza kufanya kitu gani kumsaidia ule mwananchi wetu. Ndio katika siku hizi 5 na nawaambia tunawashukuru sana mawaziri wako Bwana Rais. Wamekaa na sisi kama watu, hawakukaa na sisi kama sisi ni waovu. Wamekaa, wametueleza maoni yako na madhumuni yako ni kitu gani wataka kuwafanyia hawa wananchi wetu. Na tukakaa pamoja kwa siku zote hizi na tukakubaliana sote. Millers wote wako hapa. Kenya hii ina millers karibu 150 mpaka 200 ambao kwamba wanafanya kazi ya kusagisha, lakini vyama vao viko hapa ambao kwamba wamekuwa represented na kukubaliana kwamba tufanye jambo hili pamoja. Na tuomba Mungu kama alivyosema Bwana Rais, Mungu atatubariki ndani yake. Asante sana Bwana Rais.
Ni hayo tu, hamna mengine. Asanteni. Shukrani wenzangu. Thank you. Tumesema asante. Thank you very much. Thank you. Asanteni sana. Tumeshukuru sana. Tumeshukuru. Asanteni. Asante. Tutatembea pamoja, tutatoboa. Ama namna gani? Thank you very much. Thank you Katibu. Waziri tutaongea baadaye. Mohamed, shukrani sana. Tumeshukuru. Asante. Thank you sir. Thank you much. Thank you. Asante. Yeah. You have big shoes to fill.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
We will work with you.
Support him.
Yes, we are, for sure.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Support him. Support him. Yeah? Thank you very much. Asante sana. Thank you. Shukran sana. Asante. Asante. Thank you. Shukran sana.